Welcome to another round of Soccer's in Session live here on the SDH Network for the next however long we go. John here, you there. We're going to take you through days 3 and such with round number 2. And we're going to get you ready for day 3. We're going to go through day 2 and day 3 of the playoffs here in the GHSA. We're going to go back over what happened yesterday on the girls' side across the board. And it was the the boys' side. So it's the boys' side and the odd numbers. It's girl, boy, girl, boy. We believe in chivalry here when it comes to the playoffs. So the boys' side on the odd numbers, we're going to catch up with coming up in a short order. We're going to take a visit down to Moultrie about 12:20 or so. We're going to catch up with the head coach at Colquitt County and find out about their 1-0 win. And it is also we're going to catch up with our friends at Trinity Christian because the Trinity Christian matchup later today in the afternoon. Dan Robertson, the head coach, is going to hang out with us a little after 12:30. And we're going to catch up with him, find out about the Trinity Christian side as we get ready for Trinity Christian and Perry later on the network. Jason will be down in Middle Georgia for that one. It is Soccer Down Here. So let me get the banner up. So it's Soccer Down Here if you believe in doing things on the web. soccerdownhere.mixler.com. So what you do is if you're on your computer, you go to soccerdownhere.mixler.com. You click on that web address. Takes you right to our channel where all the live games are. And then what you can also do if you want to do things mobile, it is you can go to the Mixler app and you can download the Mixler app and you can get it done that way. And you can do it a bunch of different ways. So once again, set your favorites and follow SDH on Mixler, on the app, on your phone. And what you can do is download, it's MIXLR. So it's the Mixler app on your phone. Download the Mixler app, look for Soccer Down Here, follow us, and then get your notifications set. So every single time there's something live on Soccer Down Here, then you can log on, you can click it, and you can hit it there, and you can follow along that way. Once again, on the web, you can go that way, and you can also go a bunch of different ways, but make sure. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle guests here for the show. And so just trying to tell folks where to go. So it is, all right. So once again, you want to do it on the web a little before 6 o'clock, Jason right there, soccerdownhere.mixler.com. You do it on the web, you could go to the website. Or once again, phone, download the Mixler app, MIXLR, download the Mixler app, search for Soccer Down Here, lock us in, follow, favorite. It's right there. So you can do it there, and you can do it there. So this is I'm trying to navigate guests and things all at the same time. So that and search for Soccer Down Here. All right. So this is it's like I'm telling you what's going on at the same time that I'm trying to tell others in text what's going on. So that's where we are with all of this. So it is soccerdownhere.mixler.com if you want to do it on the web. Right there, soccerdownhere.mixler.com, or do it on the web. Or download the Mixler app, and you can follow along on your phone app. You can download it, and you can get all the games and all the matches right there. Okay, here's the rundown of the show. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to catch up with one of the coaching Kreitners at McIntosh. It's going to be Luke Kreitner. We're going to talk about McIntosh's run on the girls' side, knocking off Chamblee. Big win for them 2 days ago, and they still move on in the playoffs. Then we're going to catch up with our friends down at Colquitt County, and we're going to find out what things are like down in Moultrie when it comes to soccer. And so being able to catch up with Colby Simpson, the head coach of the boys' side down there for the Packers, down below the gnat line. And by the way, just to give you a word of warning, his phone was blowing up. And so when you go to StreamYard on your phone, you'll know the moment folks tried to call Colby. We catch up with him in the 11 o'clock hour. So and then we'll catch up with Dan Robertson, the head coach at Trinity Christian, and get ready for his run as Trinity Christian is on the air with us later this afternoon. Dan Robertson, Trinity Christian. But now, it is time to catch up with one of the coaching Kreitners. and I guess we could say, we do coaching with a K, Coaching Kreitners. We're going to catch up with the McIntosh story. Dropping by, it's Luke Kreitner, one of the Coaching Kreitners at McIntosh. Luke, it's great to see you, my friend. Congratulations on the win. Thanks for hanging out here on the Noon Show.
Absolutely. Sorry, the better half of the Kreitner connection couldn't be here. You're stuck with me.
Well, I was going to say, man, you're stealing my lines when it comes to all this stuff.
Sorry.
But no, it's great to have you on, and great to have the McIntosh representation. So walk us through what happened going up against a very tough program. You're in the upper right-hand part of brackets as folks are filling things out in pen now. It was a tough one, but you got through it.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew going into this that, Chambly was going to be an extremely tough match. They've got a lot of good results this year. We had a little PTSD when we all entered the stadium because a couple of years ago at North DeKalb, Chambly slammed us pretty hard and beat us 6-2. So that was fresh on the mind of our senior leadership there. And so we came in very focused with a good game plan, and we're just happy to walk away with a win there.
In round number 1, you beat Union Grove. You come in as a 2 seed out of Region 3. You beat Union Grove. You shut them out 4-0. And then you turn around a week later and you take care of Chambly the way that you've done. And I know that the expectations at McIntosh are always high.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, it's a Wednesday. I know what the expectations of McIntosh soccer are, regardless of who we're talking about. When it comes to going through a season, and we always sit there, and this is a conversation that I have with coaches, where I always say that season number 1, and I mean the non-region schedule in that, sets you up hopefully for season 2, which in turn hopefully sets you up for season 3, which is where we are right now, the postseason, and you want to play as long in season 3 as humanly possible. What do you think McIntosh learned about itself because of how you schedule yourself in season 1 and season 2? What did you learn about yourself when you went 14-3-1 in the season, but you lost the one region game and you had to come in as a 2 seed? What'd you learn?
Sure. I mean, we really, during season 1, had to rely on the depth of our bench. It's important that our bench gets some good quality minutes against tough teams so that we're battle tested when it comes time for season 2 and 3. And we've got certain absences throughout the year where people have club commitments. So we really have to keep that in mind, kind of looking ahead to season 2 and 3, and make sure that, the length of our bench gets those quality minutes.
When you got that one region loss to Northgate, 4-2, and then you lose to Greenbrier in a non-region. It
Right.
was a couple, I'm trying to do math, 8 days later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 losses in 8 days. What did you learn about yourselves in those losses? Because I know we can all sit here and go, yeah, it's great to run the table. We want to go 37-0, and we'll win the last game and all that kind of stuff. But
Right.
I think there are times where folks might learn more about themselves after losing because you know what your expectations are. Losing that 2 and 3, what do you think you learned about yourself in that stretch?
Yeah, we have a mantra that we talk about, since the beginning of the season with our players. Like, we never lose, we always learn. And so each game is an opportunity for us to reflect as a team, as individuals, on what we can be doing better. So we all watched the Northgate film and looked at, from a defensive perspective, what we need to improve upon. From a midfield and attacking perspective, how do we create more goal scoring opportunities? So that was with Northgate, and then Greenbrier. I thought we actually played our best game of the season so far, and we were just unfortunate in the last couple minutes to have a scrappy goal that Greenbrier latched onto. But overall, we came out really positive with that performance, knowing that Greenbrier undefeated, made it to the state championship last year against Chambly. So we came away from that game very positively.
And for those following along in your brackets, Greenbrier is what we refer to as lurking low right. With McIntosh in the upper right, low right, Greenbrier is lurking. They're going to host Cambridge next time around in 4 days' time. For someone who hasn't seen you play this year, When things are going well for McIntosh out there on the field, how would you describe how things are working without giving away state secrets? How would you describe philosophically how things are working when things are going well for you offensively and defensively out there?
Sure. Yeah, we came into the season knowing that we had a lot of returning starters defensively. So we feel very confident in our ability to, prevent goal scoring opportunities defensively. And with our goalkeeper, we've got two seniors in the back line, a senior goalkeeper. So what we've been focusing on all season is trying to get the right chemistry in the midfield, and from an attacking perspective, trying to create more goal scoring opportunities. So we've been trying lots of different formations, and it's sometimes opponent dependent, or we want to set up a way and adjust our tactics, defensively and offensively with our shape. So that's what we've really been focused on the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, is just finding the right shape, knowing our opponent's strengths and weaknesses, and trying to exploit those.
And where is Study Hall right now getting ready for Loganville? Loganville has made their way through. They shut out Jackson, Atlanta in the first round, and then they beat Northview 2-1 at home. They're coming to your place on the 29th. Where is Study Hall right now getting ready for Loganville?
Study Hall is in session. So we're gathering intel as we speak, and trying to get our hands on film and just other comments from coaches, as we all do behind the scenes. And so we'll take a look at that over the next couple of days and have a really good game plan going into the weekend.
And I know that it's always going to be a lot of sleepless nights and having to balance academics, athletics, proms, visitations, college, all these kinds of things. How difficult a juggling act is it these days being a coach on the high school level for a program that is in demand?
Yeah, luckily prom's over, so that drama's. But yes, we've got a lot of, now you got a little bit of senioritis kind of setting in, but also that creates that urgency with the seniors. Like, hey, this could be my last practice. This could be my last game, and so that raises the stakes and makes practices more competitive, and makes us even better going forward. Preparing for the next game.
All right, so it is coming up on the 29th, Loganville at McIntosh. One last question for you. How tough is 5A in general for someone who's never seen it?
I feel 5A is one of the top. Obviously we don't see all the competition, but what's been really encouraging with 5A this year is there's a lot of parity, where 5 or 6 teams really can make their way to that state championship. And so it's been fun to watch people progress, and I'm really excited about what we can do.
As always, it's great to catch up with our friends down there at McIntosh. Half of the coaching Kreitners. It is the Luke half of the coaching Kreitners. Great to see you, my friend, and we'll be following along 5 days' time. It is the upper right-hand part of the bracket, Loganville coming to town. Thanks for hanging out with us on In Session Live.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too. And so Luke's going to go get lunch, and he's going to continue to be properly hydrated. That's how we work here. Now, as we get ready for coming up at the bottom of the hour, it's going to be Dan Robertson, the head coach at Trinity Christian, because Trinity Christian in Perry is later tonight. Earlier this afternoon, and I beg your indulgence, because when you win, sometimes your phone blows up. And the way that things are with phones and things, if you are doing a guest spot with our particular software program, it literally will bump you off of our software program, and the phone will take priority. The phone call will take priority. So we caught up with head coach Colby Simpson for Colquitt County. Colquitt County had a big win in 7A boys. And I will let you know in the context of the interview how our conversation went so Colby could make it on the show today. But I will also warn you that his phone was blowing up. So you will notice a couple of times in the interview that Colby was very, very busy when it came to all of his material. So actually, tell you what. Well, hang on just a second. So if Dan Robertson with technology, I'm going to try something here. So let me pause. Let me pause with and see what's up with Dan, and we'll see if Dan gets to cooperate with his software. And so if like I said, I'm keeping an eye on the green room at the same time. So tell you what, let me go and play the interviews with Colby Simpson. and we will catch up with Dan. Oh, Dan might be. Oh, there was something there. So Dan's getting close. Tell you what, we'll play the interview with Colby Simpson. We'll go with the original game plan. So Colby Simpson, we caught up with him, and his phone was blowing up. So here's the interview that we had with Colby this morning, so he could be here with us in session. So it's our conversation with Colby Simpson, the head coach. Actually, there's Dan. So tell you what. Pause it. I'm going to pause it right here. We're going to go to Dan. Dan, we got it all figured out. I'm going to go to Trinity Christian. So we'll go to Trinity Christian. Dan Robertson, the head coach. Dan, thanks for coming on In Session Live.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So I know that this was short notice and everything. It's our match tonight on Soccer Down Here's network on our Mixler platform. It's been a great run for you. What happened in round number 1 to get you ready for this road trip down to Perry, for those that didn't get the chance to see?
We traveled down to Columbus, Georgia to play Shaw High School down there, and we ended up winning 10-0. We had a good playing surface, a beautiful stadium, Odin Stadium down there in Columbus. Very wide field. We took advantage of the width and were able to connect passes and put the game away fairly early.
And so you had a game like that. When you look at this season, the highlights across the board, what has it been like for you this year? If I had told you at the beginning of the year that you would be in this situation where you are going to Perry in round number 2 of the playoffs, if I told you that you'd have the season that you had and that you're going to be where you are, what would you have told me if we'd met, say, in training camp? What would you have told me then?
I would have told you that's what we expected to be. I'm new to the school and just came in this year, taking the team over, but I know from the reputation that they had last year, and they went to the 3rd round with the talent that they had last year, and they were a fairly young team last year, and we're still a fairly young team this year. A lot of returners coming back, and the expectation was, can we get to this round? And I would say this is where we wanted to be, and hopefully we can get through it tonight and get to the next round.
What's it been like for you coming in from the college game? I was catching up with a friend of the network, Mike Townsend, and he's like, yeah, he came in from the college side of things. How much of an adjustment has it been like for you coming from college to the high school game here in the state?
It hasn't been too much of an adjustment. The biggest thing is just the opponents and the travel. That's been a good adjustment. I think I might have lost you.
So there we go. It's my internet. So it was my fault. It's my fault that this happened. So my internet decided it wanted to adjust its parameters right in the middle of a live show. How much of an adjustment has it been for you coming from the college game to be the head coach there on the college side here in Georgia?
It hasn't really been too much of an adjustment. I mean, the play of the game is the same. Trying to put the ball in the back of the net and trying to keep the other team from scoring. The adjustment is getting the tactics and getting the girls to understand the system that I put in play, implemented, is different from what they did last year. The biggest adjustment really for me is I don't have to travel as far to play games.
There you go.
In college, we're playing 3-4 hours away, and then driving home 3-4 hours. Here at this level, I think our farthest match was like an hour and 20 minutes away. So I've quite enjoyed that.
For someone who has not seen you play this year, when things are going well, and like I say with all the coaches that come on the show, this is without giving away state secrets, unless, of course, you want to. When it comes to doing well offensively and defensively, for someone who has not seen you play, how would you best describe Trinity Christian and what you do out there on the field?
Well, we are trying to control the game and play soccer. We're not just trying to play kickball. There's strategy behind us keeping possession and moving the ball. I tell the girls that the ball never gets tired. And as long as the ball is moving and all we have to do is adjust a little here and there, we're going to have more energy at the end of the game, and that bodes well for us. The game will open up and we can create more goal scoring opportunities for ourselves.
When it comes to when it comes to Georgia soccer and everything, I know that it is a hotbed. You get a lot of eyes on you. Folks are sitting there looking at talent. It's a top state for talent and everything. For someone who has never seen you play, when it comes to folks that might be in the spot shadow, say like the game is on insert network here. You go through the open, you have the big title, the title card, and Trinity Christian's playing so and so. And in the spot shadow today, who would be some of those players that folks might naturally gravitate toward on offense and defense for you, who might be wandering in for the first time to see you?
Yeah, so our two center backs are twin sisters, Kristen and Rebecca Savoy. They have done a phenomenal job this year playing a new position. Yeah, before the season started, we set a goal as a team to concede 20 goals or less throughout the regular season, and we were able to meet that goal. With only that in 19 goals this year, so it's a victory that I'll take, especially when your whole back line is sophomores, and a lot of them are playing new positions. So it was a good accomplishment there. We also have a really good young freshman in the midfield named Kennedy Pitts. She has played on the back line some for us. She's moved into the midfield and done a phenomenal job there. And it's kind of a juggernaut for us in that midfield area. And unfortunately, one of the key players that we had throughout this year just tore her ACL in the game against McIntosh. And that's one of our seniors, Jordan Rawlings. She was one of the key pieces for us going into this season, kind of getting this new system implemented and being a motor for us on the field. Fortunately, because we were able to have so much good success in our earlier games, it allowed us to be able to move people around and try people in different positions and get everybody playing time. And when she went down, it hurt us, but at the same time, I was confident that I've put the people in the right places, trained them enough to know what they're supposed to do, that we have the pieces that fills it in. The downside is, Jordan's got to sit out and watch us from here on out, but we're doing well there. Another couple players is two seniors, Ava Anthony, Emerson Reef Snyder. They're two seniors who've been in this program 4 years. They've done a lot for this program. They work hard for us. And we have another young freshman, Silvana Davia, who has had a pretty good year for us up top. And she's a good workhorse. Still has some growth to do, but she is on her way to becoming a pretty good player.
Well, and you mentioned all of this youth that you start as a part of your roster on a daily basis. We sit there and say at the beginning of the season, well, they're a freshman, they're a sophomore. And at the end of the season, they're not playing like a freshman anymore. They're not playing like a sophomore anymore. They're playing like that next class up or two classes up. How long did it take for this unit of yours to get to full song the way that you wanted to get them to play? Or are there still things in season 3, as we call it here, that are still needing work that you're still having to work on? Where is this where is this group as it comes to full song for you? Where are they right now?
I think we're pretty close. There might be a couple small things that you might want to implement, but at this point in the season, it's kind of difficult because you're just limited on your time to do it. We were fortunate enough that we were able to, about 3/4 of the way of the season, really feel like we got a good understanding of our system, offensively, defensively, the transitioning, and just being able to take that and just grow into our game. I feel like the girls are really confident now with how we play. And I think that's going to be something that gives us a little bit of advantage. The confidence that we have, the comfortability we have with each other, and the system that we're trying to play in. And, good teams are more than just playing soccer. Good teams that go far care about each other a lot. And this group of girls, they care a lot about each other. We're very close knit, and that bodes well going into the playoffs. So they're going to fight for each other, and they're going to have determination to go out and get that win. Now, even more so with Jordan being injured and not being able to play, we want to go out and get this win for Jordan tonight.
Only 19 goals allowed over 18 games that you played this year. And I would imagine that it is the 10 in front of the keeper that is all a part of this. It is this Borg collective idea where everyone is doubling back and helping out defensively in addition to your back line. Forwards coming back to help out when they need to, and then having a presence between the sticks. When you look at those defensive numbers, I mean, you've outscored folks 107-19, and doing math, 18 into 107, that's a high number. It's like 6+, I think, if my cursory math is like right at 6, like 6-1 on average every single time out. What's it like to have the defense that you've had specifically because you've only given up a goal a game and your margins are so wide?
It's been awesome to watch these girls play, and the fact that we achieved that goal of allowing so few goals in this year, even like playing two keepers. We have a junior keeper and a freshman keeper, and both have gotten minutes. And so, and being such a young back line, it's been phenomenal. And to think that I've got all of them coming back next year, it just bodes even more. I might have to lower the goal a little bit, see if we can get 10 or less in next year, because I think they're capable of it. They're a really bright, brilliant group of players, and they work so hard for each other.
When we always talk about wins and losses and the idea of learning more in a loss than you would if you ran the table. I know that every coach wants to sit there. They'd love to have an undefeated season going from pillar to post. You're undefeated, you win the trophies, everything, all of that. There was a stretch in March and April where in a 3-week period you lose 3 of 4. What did you learn about yourself in those matches where you're playing up against a Stars Mill, you're playing at Brookstone, you're playing at McIntosh? What did you learn about yourself in those games that you hope were lessons that carry forward, not just this year, but in the future for a very young team?
Yeah, so the Stars Mill game, we learned what we are capable of doing. We saw glimpses of stuff, and we learned, okay, strategically what we need to do against a little bit better teams. That was big for us. The girls never dropped their heads and say, "Oh, our season's over, done." It wasn't anything like that. The two after that, Brookstone and McIntosh. Brookstone was the first game back from spring break, so I knew it was going to be rusty, and we did not have a good first half. It took us a little bit to get woken up, and second half we played much better. We worked on a few things, and it was good. We needed that loss. It was something that was kind of a little bit of a wake up call to say, okay, this is where it's starting to hit the road. And I was glad that we got that loss. I would love to win it, but the loss was better for us in the long run to get our focus back, to get us, after spring break. It's difficult, got our focus back, got us our mindset ready, and gave us a little bit more determination going against McIntosh. McIntosh is a good program. And we implemented some things that we learned from the Stars Mill game, and some things that we needed to work on better from the Brookstone game. We did a lot better in that McIntosh game. We focused on really just defending the mid block, not trying to play a low block defense, not trying to park the bus. We wanted to go out and we wanted to play, we wanted to defend, higher up the field, see if we can create good counterattacking. Can we build our attack from there? And at halftime, it's 1-0, and we're defending really well. And really, that game, the 3 goals, I would say we were in the right spot. We just didn't make the right touch or, the decision, whatever. It was just a small little mistake, which when you have a young team, that's going to happen. The experience wasn't there yet. And I think we gained experience from that. We definitely gained confidence coming out of that game to know that, hey, we can play with these bigger teams. We can play with these schools that in the past have been perennial powerhouses that we might have been afraid of. Like, hey, we can be there. And our goal is always to put ourselves in a position at the end of the game where we're in the game, we can give ourselves a chance to win the game. And so that's what we're trying to work on.
What has study hall been like getting ready for this matchup against Perry coming up in a little over 5 hours?
It's been good. Like, we've had some good practices. We've just been fine tuning some things in our play, ball movement, positioning, communication, just little things here and there. Our mindset has been sharp, focused. We've had some really good practices leading up to this. And it just gives me confidence that I know that we're going to go in and play well.
All right. It is on the network at a little before 6 o'clock tonight. And as always, Coach, thanks for hopping on. I mean, literally, it's like, hey, let's see if we can call down to Trinity Christian, see if we can get a bit of a Trinity Christian preview. Thanks for hopping on short notice. It's going to be on the network a little before 6 o'clock tonight. Trinity Christian at Perry in the playoffs in the GHSA. Dan Robertson, the new head coach down there at TC. Thanks for hanging out with us. Good luck. May everybody be safe. Have a fantastic match. We'll catch up with you soon.
Okay, I just want to give a quick shout out to our middle school girls team. I mean, talk about youth. They went undefeated this year, lost in the state final for the middle school. Our JV program had a really good year. I think they only lost one game. So we've got a good bunch of talent coming up through the ranks here at Trinity.
Looking forward to it. Once again, Coach, be safe getting down there to Middle Georgia. Have a great match. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
There we go. There's Dan Robertson, the head coach at Trinity Christian. And he put up with modern technology here. So literally, I'm not kidding. I swear. I don't know why my particular carrier decides to do maintenance like in the noon hour on random days. They don't give you any notice. It's just like, hey, you know what? We're going to sit there and make your connection flutter a little bit. You know? And so that's what happened. So connection fluttered. I apologize for the early intervention in trying to and having to do things from scratch. But that's what happens. Live TV. That's what happens. All right. So before we get into brackets, tell you what happened yesterday and get into what's going to happen a little later. As promised, now we're going to catch up with Colby Simpson, the head coach of the Colquitt County Packers, let you know what's going on and go through what happened there. And once again, as I said, when you're dealing with technology, and specifically this particular program, somebody calls your phone and you're doing this on your phone will interrupt you. The phone will want to take priority over the video signal. So a couple of times out, it was trying to reconnect with Coach Simpson, but it was a great informative conversation. So warts and all, here's the conversation that we had with the head coach at the Colquitt County Packers on the boys' side, Colby Simpson. We go over their season, a big 1-0 win, and what's coming next in 7A. And as promised, time to go in session. For this, we go to Moultrie and catch up with Colby Simpson, head coach of the Colquitt County Packers, who are still on the board, still playing low right as you are filling out your brackets in pen. Congratulations. And Coach, let me first off give you full credit. And I don't know, when I get an email at 2:41 in the morning, I don't know if that means that you still haven't slept or that you completely crashed, woke up early, and started getting back to it. Which one of those scenarios is it?
I don't know. Probably just riding the high. Didn't really sleep much last night. Just so proud of the boys and just running scenarios through my head over and over again, and kind of already trying to prepare for next week against Kennesaw Mountain.
Low right as you fill things out in the bracket. So for folks that didn't have the chance to go and see the match and know about Colquitt County in an American football sense, what happened in an FUTBOL football sense with Colquitt County in the 1-0 win over Pebblebrook?
Well, it was a very, very hard-fought game, and we had an opportunity to capitalize on a free kick from Christian Mata, and he sent a beautiful ball in, and with a follow-up from Christian Nunez, one of our sophomore starters, put the ball in the back of the net, and our defense held on, and we had a few more counterattacks, but Pebblebrook was a very solid team, and it was a beautiful game, great game last night.
So for those who've never been down to Moultrie to see you play, do you play in the hog pen or do you play someplace else first and foremost?
No, sir. We play at the high school. We call it Packer Park. We have a beautiful facility there. We have two practice fields and a game field, and it's a beautiful facility.
And it certainly is. For those who haven't had the chance to drop by the new high school, it is really, really cool and really nice, and they have spared no expense in benefiting everything, arts, academics, and athletics. You're right now at 16-2-1. You ran through region at 7-1, and you're listed, depending on the poll, top 75 in the country, top 30 in the state of Georgia. If I had told you that you would be preparing for this home game against Kennesaw Mountain coming up in 5 days' time, that you'd be winning 16 out of 19 to get where you are right now, if I'd said that was going to be the case at the beginning of the season, what would you have told me then?
I'd say it's possible. Soccer in Moultrie is a culture. These young boys, these young men, they've grown up playing it. Anywhere, any place, anytime, you'll see them with a ball. And I'm just so proud of them. And day one we went in saying, hey, we got to have that championship mindset, whether it's region, whether it's a scrimmage, whether it's the playoffs. We just have to have that mindset. We got to stay positive and focused on what our goal is for not only our team, but for our community, for the parents who've sacrificed their time to allow these young men to have this experience.
For someone who's never been to see your team play, if I was to say, okay, I need you to parachute in, I need you to go and watch this game against Kennesaw Mountain. When things are going well for Colquitt County out there on the pitch, how would you describe when things are going well for Colquitt County football, what's going on out there offensively and defensively?
I mean, everybody's working together. It's constant, supporting one another. We're like gnats in South Georgia. We're constantly on top of the ball, constantly working to get the ball, constantly looking to put the ball in the back of the net. From the goalkeeper, Wilson Hewlett, to the man up top, we are just one unit, and everybody's working together.
Yeah, and when you've won 16 of 19 the way that you have, and you look at this offense that you've put together here, you're looking at you start out the season early on with a loss at Carrollton, then it's a draw with TCC, and then there's just a bunch of W's and a whole lot of goals scored across the board. When you see this offense click the way that it does, what's it like for you? Do you have a chance to sit there and actually enjoy what's going on, or are you still coaching and you wait to enjoy it until you're watching tape after?
A little of both. Carrollton and TCC are both quality teams. A lot of the scores do not justify the intensity of the games. And just we've been able to put the ball in the back of the net through a lot of good combination passes, and just again a whole team effort.
And so you're getting ready already. Like I said, when you email me at 20 to 3 in the morning.
Hold on, I can't hear you for a second. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good. I got you. I can hear you fine.
I don't know what's going on. I can't hear you.
I can hear you. You're good. I got you. I can still hear you. And so what we'll do is we will filibuster for time, and then Coach Simpson will come back in, and we'll continue conversations. He literally went out. He was running errands in the parking lot. He was running errands there in Moultrie for his team, getting them ready for practice, getting ready for the matchup against Kennesaw Mountain coming up on Tuesday. And like I said, for those of you that have not had the chance to see what's going on there in Moultrie, with a team that's won 16 of 19, we were getting into the offense a little bit and showing you what's going on with this Packer offense. And you end up with all of the activity that's there, and Coach Simpson's back with us after the technology gremlins interrupted, and it looked like somebody was trying to call in and try to let you and try to catch up with you before we were done.
Yes, sir.
But when you mentioned the offense and how the scores didn't necessarily dictate how tough things were in these matchups, can you go into that a little bit more for me?
Down here in South Georgia, it's very, very competitive. A lot of these young men know each other through whether it's a Sunday League, Saturday League club, through South Georgia United or TASA, or even Florida Elite. So they know each other. So, they're best friends on the side, but when it comes to game time, they're enemies. They want to prove themselves to each other. So, with the competitiveness in South Georgia, we just got behind the ball, and we were able to capitalize on some goals, and our defense is playing solid to not allow the other teams to capitalize.
Another couple of minutes here with Colby Simpson, the head coach of the boys side at Colquitt County. Colquitt County, the top seed out of Region 1, knocked off Brookwood 1-0 in round number 1, knocked off Pebblebrook 1-0 in round number 2 as they get ready for Kennesaw Mountain next week. low right in your 7A bracket. Last loss on the board was a region game to Camden County in Kingsland back on the Ides of March. And I know that folks that can sit there of a certain age and sit there and go, Ides of March, and then they'll sit there and go, What did you learn about yourself in a 1-0 loss in Kingsland to Camden County that you've carried forward instead of running the table and having even more wins on the schedule? What did you learn from that region loss that you brought with you forward here into this playoff run?
Like I said, our region is actually a very competitive region. Camden is great, that they're coached very well, and they came out on fire. We let an unfortunate goal in off of a PK. And what I really learned in the whole run is our boys won't back down. We went down 1-0, but we kept up the intensity, we kept up the positivity, we kept focused, and whether we stayed together, we stayed as one. We didn't start arguing or blaming or pointing the finger, and that's part of it.
I think somebody else was trying to call into Colby once again. Yep. So so unmute, and because I can see you, and you're good. And he's in the parking lot. See, this is how busy a man Colby is. This is how busy he is. He is trying to make sure that his kids are properly hydrated and that everything is going on. And see, he's won. He wins a match in round 2. He wins 1-0 over Pebblebrook, and now his phone's blowing up. Like I said, literally his phone has been blowing up ever since I started sending out emails at 2:40 in the morning. I sent my email out about midnight. And so Colby answers it at 2:40 in the morning. And so his phone has been blowing up ever since. Go ahead and see if you can if I can hear you. Okay, so I can't hear you now. So go ahead, duck back out one more time, duck back in, and we'll go ahead and we'll do it one more time. And so completely and totally. Yeah, we go. Okay, so one more time, and we'll go ahead and go one last question with Colby when he comes back into the room. But thankfully, technology can let us do these things. But like I said, Colby's phone has been blowing up. It literally has been blowing up ever since the win last night. Understandably so, because if you know what American football is down there in Colquitt County, you cannot get a ticket to the Hog Pen. You cannot get a ticket to any of the sporting events. And it is tremendous when it comes to all the support that is there. So, Colby, one more time.
Can you see me?
No, I can't, but I can hear you, and I'll take that. I'll take that. So, last question for you, and thanks for doing this.
Yes, sir. I apologize for the interruptions.
No, well, you're fine. I was telling folks, it's like your phone's been blowing up ever since the win. Everybody wants to talk to you and find out what's going on.
Work.
Time to brag on your roster a little bit. For those who've never seen you play, who are some of the standouts that they need to focus on with this matchup coming up with Kennesaw Mountain?
I really can't single out a single player. I know that's not what you want to hear, because we're a team.
There you go.
It's from top to bottom. We all motivate each other, from the players who practice hard, who get a limited playing time, and then from the starters who play a lot. It's everybody. We're a family. And there's no real true standout, because we're one. We're a team.
Looking forward to it. So, as always, it's great to catch up with folks down there in South Georgia. Love what you're doing right there in Region 1, Colquitt County. 2 1-0 wins to have you hosting Kennesaw Mountain next week. Thanks for coming on and being in session. And I know your phone's going to keep blowing up, and I know folks are going to be wanting to talk to you between now and then. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Nelson, for having me, and thank you for reaching out. Have a good one.
You too. There you go. That's the interview with the coach down there in Moultrie. And Colby Simpson has 2 1-0 wins to Colquitt County's credit. They are going to be waiting for Kennesaw Mountain. So let's go over what happened yesterday and what's going to happen today. So once again, time to grab your brackets, and we will lay it all out with what went down yesterday, and we will let you know what's going on today. So yesterday, we'll start in 7A and work our way down, and then we'll work our way back up with what's going to happen today. Yesterday and It was Campbell, 4-2 winners over South Gwinnett. Campbell had the home advantage with the 1 seed. They advance, and they will play Lambert. Lambert beat Walton 4-1 in Raider Valley. So Lambert travels to Campbell, and that is upper left in your 7A boys bracket. Archer and Carrollton, that one is today. We'll get a start time for that one coming up a little later on when we talk about what's going on in the bracket. So Archer is going to be waiting for Carrollton. Carrollton, remember, went to the 8th frame and beat Hillgrove in a 1-4. So Carrollton, the 4 seed, has made their way through. They get Archer. Milton, 1-0 winners at Collins Hill. So Milton comes through as the 3. If Archer wins, they host. If Carrollton wins, Carrollton would travel to Milton. That's the left-hand side in 7A. On the right-hand side, Discovery shuts out Osborne by the final of 3-0. They will go to Grayson. Grayson, 2-1 winners over East Coweta. And we mentioned Kennesaw Mountain. Kennesaw Mountain, 2-1 winners at home against North Gwinnett. We had Chris Leone on the show yesterday. It was great to catch up with them, with what we're seeing with the Bulldogs program. But they travel to Kennesaw Mountain, and the Mustangs won that one 2-1. They will travel to Colquitt County to take on the aforementioned interviewed Colby Simpson. That one's going to be once again on the 30th, 5 days from now. So that would be Tuesday. So Tuesday the 30th is when you're going to get those matchups in 7A. 5A boys yesterday and the last couple of days. Eagles Landing beats Chambly by the final of 3-2. Jason is a very happy man. So you end up with Eagles Landing having the home game. They will travel to Midtown on the 30th, and Midtown 4-3 winners over Centennial. So it is Eagles Landing at Midtown on the left-hand side of your bracket. In 5A, low left, it's all the heavyweights. McIntosh, 2-1 winners over Cross Keys. Dalton, 2-1 winners at Clark Central. So rest assured, we're going to be catching up with Matt Cheeves, the head coach at Dalton, in short order. And we'll also be catching up with Bunky Colvin, Brian Messer, that group at McIntosh. Heavyweights, low left, on the 30th, 5 days from now, it is going to be Dalton at McIntosh. Right-hand side, Cass over Chapel Hill, 7-1. They will travel to Tucker. Tucker beat Northgate by the final of 2-1. So that is your upper right. Lower right, Chattahoochee shuts out Heritage Conyers, winning by 6. Decatur beats Harris County 3-2 in Hamilton. So your 5A, once again, next Tuesday. Eagles Landing at Midtown, Dalton at McIntosh, Cass at Tucker, and Decatur is at Chattahoochee. 3A boys yesterday. Upper left, Pike County won in Zebulon, 2-1 over Thomasville. Bremen shut out Sandy Creek in Tyrone. Bremen, as the 2 seed, travels to Zebulon. Bremen at Pike County. That is also, these are all Tuesday games, April 30. Savannah Country Day shuts out ARC 4-0 at home on the coast. They will travel to Hebron Christian. Hebron Christian, no problem with Dawson County winning 6-0. So left-hand side, once again, Bremen at Pike. Savannah Country Day at Hebron Christian. Right-hand side of the bracket, Oconee County shuts out Wesleyan 1-0. They will travel to Morgan County. Morgan County beat Peach by the final of 4-2. Oconee County at Morgan County, upper right. Also, Coahulla Creek 4-1 winners over Monroe area. That one was in Dalton. And they will go to Columbus. Columbus shut out Mary Persons by the final of 3-0. So Columbus hosting Coahulla Creek. Oconee County hosting Morgan County. That is on the right-hand side of the bracket. AD1, Class A Division 1, now that we have all of the teams squared away in Class A. East Lawrence over Brooks County by the final of 3-1. The Falcons will host Paideia, who had no problem shutting out Elbert County in the metropolitan Atlanta area. So Paideia at East Lawrence, that is upper left. Temple and Woodville Tompkins, that one is going to be played later. Mount Vernon beats Tallulah Falls at Tallulah Falls. Mount Vernon comes through as a 3 seed. If Temple wins, it's at Temple. Woodville Tompkins wins, it's at Woodville Tompkins. Mount Vernon will travel on Tuesday in Class A D1. Whitfield Academy shut out Barrow Arts by the final of 2-0 at Barrow Arts. They will travel to Barnesville to take on Lamar County, and it is Lamar County over Metter 4-3, and it is Atlanta International, no problem with Rabun, and they will host Jefferson County. Jefferson County won 4-3 in their win over Bacon County. So on the 30th is when Class A gets their matchups, and so that was Class A Division 1. Class A Division 2, Atlanta Classical over Lake Oconee Academy 3-2 at Lake Oconee Academy, but Atlanta Classical will now travel to Wheeler County to take on the Bulldogs. They beat Towns County 3-1, so it's Atlanta Classical at Wheeler County. Aquinas had to go 11 rounds before they found out the winner was going to be Fuji's Academy. Game was tied at 1. They kept going. Fuji's Academy won 11-10 in penalties, and they will travel to Pearson to take on Atkinson County if they have any legs left. Wow. Atkinson County shuts out Mount Zion Carroll by the final of 3-0. So we're going to catch up with Coach McKinney in short order. Hopefully we'll catch up with her either on Monday or Tuesday before that matchup with Fuji's Academy. Left-hand side, AD2, Atlanta Classical at Wheeler, Fuji's Academy at Atco. Right-hand side, Macon County over Montgomery County 4-2. That one was in Mount Vernon. They will travel to Georgia Military. Georgia Military shut out Washington Wilkes. So it's Macon County at GMC. Eccles County, great run continues for them. They shut out Portal 1-0. They will travel to Dalton. This one's going to be a trip. Christian Heritage beat Chatco 5-1. So Eccles County. So for those that don't know where Eccles County is basically you go to Valdosta, then you take the Wiregrass Parkway like you're going east. You leave Valdosta, you go to like one of the last Valdosta, last main Valdosta exit. I think it's exit 10 or 13. And then you keep going east. The next county that you get into when you pass through Lowndes County is you're heading toward Clinch County, Homerville, and Waycross. Eccles County is the next county over. And so Statenville is the county seat. And we might have to catch up with our friends at Eccles County for this one. So Statenville, Georgia, literally you are going from Statenville, Georgia to Dalton. My dear friend Tommy Palmer always called trips like this a pack a lunch and a dinner trip. This is going to be a little more than that. It's going to be a pack a lunch, a dinner, and a midnight snack. Eccles County, they're going to have to figure out some scheduling here for this one because Eccles County is basically coming from Valdosta, traveling from Valdosta to Dalton to play this match. And it is set once again for 5 days' time. Eccles County at Christian Heritage on the 30th, and that is low right in Class A, D2. So that sets up how things are for today. And today it is even-numbered girls. Even-numbered girls, and that is the matchup that we have on the network a little before 6 o'clock. Jason Longshore will be down in Perry for the call. Soccerdownhere.mixler.com is where you'll be able to listen to Trinity Christian at Perry, and it's going to be a great one there in Quad A. The other matchups going on will start off in 6A. It is St. Pius at Glen Academy, Lassiter at Alexander. That is upper left in 6A. It is North Atlanta at Woodward Academy, Roswell at Habersham Central. So Roswell travels to Mount Airy. That's the left-hand side of the 6A bracket. Jackson County's at Pope. Grovetown is at Marist. Gainesville hosts Johns Creek. Johns Creek won as a 4 seed. They travel to Gainesville and play at Bobby Gruen Field at City Park. Riverwood, the 4 seed, travels to Lakeside Evans, the 2 seed. So low right is your bracket of chaos in 6A. In 4A girls, we mentioned Trinity Christian and Perry. 6 o'clock start. A little before that, Jason will come on and have the broadcast for you here on the SDH Network. Winner of that one takes on the winner of Holy Innocents and Love It, as you heard Coach Robertson talk about from Trinity Christian here earlier in the show. Low left, it is a Whitewater at Islands. Southeast Whitfield is at Cherokee Bluff. In the upper right, North Oconee is at Northwest Whitfield. Southeast Bullock is at Stars Mill. Northwest Whitfield, Stars Mill lurking in the upper right-hand corner. Pace Academy is at Westminster, low right. LaGrange is at Wayne County. LaGrange, the 4 seed, knocked off Bainbridge. They will travel to Jessup to take on Wayne County. That's a pack a lunch and a dinner trip. In AA girls, upper left, Worth County goes to Ace Charter. Walker is at Landmark Christian. Low left, Dodge County is at Pierce. So Eastman travels to Blackshear. Fannin County to Fellowship Christian. So the Lady Rebels travel as the 2 seed to Suburban Roswell to take on Fellowship. Right-hand side, Athens Academy goes to Model. Savannah Arts hosts Jeff Davis, and Jeff Davis came in as a 4 seed, knocked off Putnam County, so they get to travel from Hazelhurst to Savannah to take on Savannah Arts. Low right, East Jackson to Mount Perrin Christian. Toombs County goes to Fitzgerald, 2, 4, and 6 girls today, 2, 4, and 6 boys tomorrow. And that is that's your rundown of what is going to happen in girls soccer today. Once again, ladies first, 2, 4, and 6. So you end up with all of the scores today. 24 games listed. Checking the start times just to see if there's anything that's abnormal. You've got Whitewater and Islands. That one is at 5. Athens Academy's at 5. Lovett and Holy Innocents is at 5:30. Fannin County Fellowship at 5:30. Pace Academy Westminster 5:30. Southeast Bullock Stars Mill at 5:30. And it is 6 o'clock from there. Grovetown and Marist is at 6:30. It is Lassiter and Alexander at 6:30. North Atlanta Woodward is at 6:30. And 4 matches, we have start times that are in limbo when it comes to the girls' game. For the boys' game, trying to see if there's any mop-up duty there when it comes to scores here in the state of Georgia and matchups today. You get a handful of games. Temple, Woodville, Tompkins is at 5. Carrollton and Archer is at 7. Union County and Model is at 7. Whitewater and Islands is part of a doubleheader. That one's at 7 o'clock. And that will do it on the boys' side for the single school back-to-back doubleheader action. So you have some matches that start at 5 because of travel and such. You do have some 5:30s, and you do have a couple of doubleheaders out today. So that's the show for Soccer is in Session. One more time, we'll let you know with where to watch the match. If you want to do it over the web, go right here, soccerdownhere.mixler.com, and you get to catch up that way and listen to the matchup with Jason Longshore, with Trinity Christian and Perry. If you want to do it over your phone, download the Mixler app, MIXLR. Download the Mixler app, go to Soccer Down Here on Mixler, set your notifications, and when we've got a live event, you'll know about it. You click on the app, you listen that way, and it's there. So it's on the Mixler app. Do a search for Soccer Down Here, or on the web, soccerdownhere.mixler.com. Jason in Perry for the Perry Panthers, and Trinity Christian coming up a little before 6 o'clock tonight. So that is Soccer's in Session. We'll be back at it again tomorrow, and we'll go over things at the end of the week. It'll be day 4, round 2. Who are the guests? I have no idea. We'll figure it out and find out who the guests are, and we'll take you through everything. Once again, thanks to Trinity Christian, thanks to Colquitt County, thanks to McIntosh, and thanks to you as we're getting through the GHSA playoffs a day at a time. Round 2 continues today. It is the girls' side, 2A, 4A, and 6A. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Get you ready for 2A, 4A, 6A boys. That's a show, technology included. Play it safe, everybody. Since it's the end of the show, that means we get to do this. You can listen to this one on the app coming up a little later on. See you again tomorrow, 9:05 for Soccer Down Here on a Friday to get you ready for a busy weekend here in the Southeast in the sport on all levels and divisions. It's going to be a fun one. Mucho platial. See you tomorrow.